Before she captured the world with her breathtaking speed and heartbreaking fall, Go for Wand was born with greatness in her blood. Her destiny wasn't written on the racetrack. It was written the day she drew her first breath. Go for Wand entered the world on April 6, 1987, in the quiet fields of Pennsylvania. But there was nothing ordinary about her birth. She was the product of racing royalty. Her sire, Deputy Minister, was a Canadian Hall of Fame champion known for producing power and heart in his offspring. Her dam, Obia, wasn't just another mare. She was a proven stakes winner with a reputation for grit and determination. Bred and raced by the prestigious Christiana stables under the careful eye of Jane de Pont-Lunger, Go for Wand was destined to chase immortality. She was entrusted to trainer Bill Badgett Jr., who quickly realized he had something extraordinary on his hands. From the moment she stepped onto the track, Go for Wand didn't just run, she soared. The pedigree, the breeding, the legacy, it was all there, perfectly aligned for a historic journey. This was a horse born to make headlines, to steal hearts, and to leave an unforgettable mark on the sport of kings. Some horses need years to find their stride. Go for Wand needed minutes. From her very first race, she wasn't just winning, she was dominating. Her rookie season didn't whisper potential, it roared destiny. Go for Wand exploded onto the racing scene in 1989 like a storm no one saw coming. Her debut was a confident win, a bold announcement that the racing world had a new rising star. But it was her second race that left jaws on the ground. She didn't just win, she obliterated the field, surging to an astonishing 18 1/4 victory that stamped her as something special, something rare. Trainers, jockeys, and fans quickly realized this wasn't just a promising filly. Go for Wand was a force of nature. Her meteoric rise continued with a breathtaking victory in the Frizette Stakes, one of the most prestigious races for juvenile fillies. But Go for Wand was far from finished. She thundered into the Breeders' Cup juvenile fillies like she owned the stage, and she did. Crossing the wire first, she sealed her place among the elite. By the end of the season, there was no debate. Go for Wand was crowned the 1989 Eclipse Award champion 2-year-old filly, the highest honor for a juvenile in American racing. In just a few dazzling performances, Go for Wand had transformed from a well-bred filly into a national sensation. Her rookie season wasn't a beginning. It was the launching pad for a legend. And everyone could feel it. This was only the start. Go for Wand began her 3-year-old season in 1990 with the same fire and determination that had made her a star the year before. She stepped onto the track as a seasoned champion, ready to prove that her brilliance was no passing phase. Her first major test of the season came in the Beaumont Stakes at Keeneland, where she displayed her signature speed and composure. She dominated the race from start to finish, reminding everyone that she was a powerhouse among her peers. With that commanding win, Go for Wand signaled that she had returned stronger, faster, and even more determined. Shortly after, she captured the Ashland Stakes, once again crushing the competition with ease. Her stride was fluid, her pace relentless. With 2 powerful victories under her belt, Go for Wand quickly became the favorite heading into the season's most prestigious race for fillies, the Kentucky Oaks. In the Oaks, she faced fierce competition. It was a hard-fought battle where Go for Wand pushed herself to the limit, but finished second in a close and thrilling race. For a brief moment, it seemed she had been stopped. but not for long. Her comeback was immediate and emphatic. In the Mother Goose Stakes, Go for Wand delivered a stunning performance. She took control early and left the rest of the field behind, erasing any doubt about her dominance. The loss in the Oaks only fueled her fire. These early victories and her resilient response to defeat defined the beginning of her 3-year-old season. Go for Wand's power, heart, and competitive spirit captivated racing fans across the country, setting the stage for what many believed would be a season of unstoppable triumph. Go for Wand's brilliance reached breathtaking new heights during the summer of 1990 at Saratoga Racecourse, a place where champions are made and legends are born. It was here that she didn't just win, she redefined dominance. First came the Test Stakes, where Go for Wand unleashed her explosive speed and tactical brilliance. She took the lead early and never looked back, effortlessly pulling away from the field. It was a masterclass in front-running, a race that showcased her natural control and unshakable determination. Spectators could feel her power with every stride, and by the time she crossed the wire, there was no question Saratoga belonged to her. But her greatest performance was still to come. In the prestigious Alabama Stakes, Go for Wand delivered one of the most unforgettable runs in Saratoga's storied history. She didn't just win, she obliterated the clock. Stopping the timer in just under 2:01, she set a blazing speed record that would stand untouched for years. Her performance in the Alabama was the perfect blend of grace, grit, and raw speed, a moment that left racing fans in stunned admiration. Her dominance at Saratoga didn't just add trophies to her collection, it solidified her place as one of the best fillies the sport had ever seen. With each victory, she didn't just capture wins, she captured hearts. Go for Wand's summer campaign was a thunderous statement. She was not just racing to win, she was racing to etch her name into history. Her Saratoga triumphs became the golden standard for excellence and remain among the most celebrated moments in American horse racing. As the summer of 1990 gave way to fall, Go for Wand faced a new, formidable challenge, stepping beyond her age group to take on seasoned older mares. It was the next great test of her extraordinary talent, and once again, she rose to the moment with fearless brilliance. Her first showdown came in the prestigious Masquette Stakes at Belmont Park. Facing mares with years of experience, Go for Wand seized the race from the start. With her explosive speed and unmatched grit, she outpaced the veterans, never yielding an inch. Her wire-to-wire victory wasn't just a win, it was a clear message. Go for Wand didn't need to rely on her age class to shine. She was now an elite among all, regardless of age. But she wasn't finished. In the Beldame Stakes, one of the most respected races for older mares, Go for Wand delivered yet another masterful performance. She controlled the pace with precision, fending off every challenge with unwavering power. Her fluid, commanding stride through the stretch silenced any remaining doubts. She was not just a top 3-year-old filly, she was one of the finest racehorses in the country, period. Beating older mares is a benchmark few 3-year-olds achieve, but Go for Wand did it with style and authority. These victories elevated her from being a rising star to a confirmed legend in the making. She had crossed the threshold, proving she could conquer the very best on any stage. Each triumph deepened her legacy and captivated racing fans who marveled at her relentless spirit. With the Masquette and Beldame victories, Go for Wand didn't just solidify her elite status, she carved her place in the sport's history with bold, unforgettable strokes. By the end of her electrifying 1990 season, Go for Wand had carved her name deep into the annals of horse racing history. She was not just a star, she was a phenomenon. In a year where competition was fierce and every race carried the weight of legacy, she emerged as one of the sport's brightest lights. Go for Wand's final record for the 1990 season was nothing short of remarkable. 7 victories in 9 starts. Her career totals stood at 13 races, 10 wins, 2 second-place finishes, and 0 thirds, a dazzling testament to her consistency and brilliance. Over her brief but unforgettable career, she amassed $137 million in earnings, proving she was as financially dominant as she was athletically. Her courage, class, and competitive fire were formally recognized when she was named the Eclipse champion, 3-year-old filly of 1990. It was an honor she richly deserved, a reflection of her thrilling performances and her unshakable spirit on the track. But Go for Wand's story didn't end there. In the aftermath of her tragic death, the racing community came together to ensure her legacy would never fade. In a powerful, bittersweet tribute, she was also awarded a posthumous Eclipse Award, forever enshrining her as one of the most celebrated and beloved fillies of her time. Her accolades were not just trophies or titles, they were symbols of the awe she inspired and the mark she left on the sport. Fans still remember her not only for her blazing speed and unrelenting drive, but for the heart she poured into every race. Even in her absence, Go for Wand's story continues to echo, a story of greatness, heartbreak, and a legacy that will never be forgotten. October 27th, 1990. The stage was set at Belmont Park for one of the most highly anticipated showdowns in racing history. Go for Wand, the reigning queen of the 3-year-old fillies, was about to face her most formidable rival, Bayakoa, the defending champion of the Breeders Cup Distaff. It wasn't just a race, it was a clash of titans. The young sensation against the seasoned warrior, the undefeated star of the East, taking on the pride of the West. From the moment the gates flew open, the tension was electric. Go for Wand and Bayakoa charged to the front, refusing to let the other take control. They matched stride for stride, as if neither was willing to give an inch. The crowd roared as the two champions separated themselves from the rest of the field, locking into a head-to-head battle that sent pulses racing. Down the backstretch and into the far turn, the duel intensified. Go for Wand ran with her signature fire, while Bayakoa dug deep, refusing to surrender. It was the kind of race that defines careers, the kind that leaves fans breathless and begging for more. Neck and neck they thundered, neither mare blinking, both digging with everything they had. The rivalry had reached its peak in the most prestigious event of the year. The anticipation in the grandstands was overwhelming. Two champions, side by side, pushing the very limits of speed and heart. It was a moment racing fans would never forget. But what happened next would forever change the legacy of Go for Wand, turning this epic race into one of the sport's most heartbreaking chapters. The Breeders Cup Distaff wasn't just a race that day, it became an unforgettable, tragic turning point in racing history. As the deafening roar of the crowd echoed through Belmont Park, Go for Wand and Bayakoa were locked in a battle for the ages. Two champions, side by side, neither willing to yield. They thundered down the stretch, their strides perfectly synchronized, their hearts blazing with determination. It was the kind of head-to-head duel that every racing fan lives for. But then, tragedy struck. with just a 16th of a mile remaining. In the very moment when Go for Wand seemed poised to dig in and push for glory, her right front cannon bone catastrophically shattered. The unimaginable unfolded in a heartbeat. Jockey Randy Romero was violently thrown to the ground as Go for Wand tumbled forward, staggering in heartbreaking confusion. The cheers of thousands instantly turned to gasps of horror. The elegant, untouchable filly who had danced across racetracks all season now struggled to stand, dazed, her leg dangling in an unnatural, devastating twist. It was a sight that pierced the soul of every spectator. Her courage remained to the last second. She tried to stay upright, to finish, to fight, but the injury was beyond recovery. Track personnel rushed to her aid, but everyone knew the unspoken truth. The severity of her injury left no humane option. In the very shadow of the finish line, Go for Wand was humanely euthanized, her fight ending where her greatest triumphs had so often begun. The racing world was shattered. What was meant to be her crowning moment became an indelible tragedy. It was not just the loss of a race. It was the loss of a life, of a legend, of a horse whose heart had captured the nation. The day would forever mark one of the saddest moments in horse racing history. In the moments following Go for Wand's devastating breakdown, time seemed to freeze at Belmont Park. The roar of the crowd had fallen into a stunned, unbearable silence. What had begun as a breathtaking duel between champions had suddenly transformed into an unimaginable tragedy unfolding before thousands of helpless eyes. Track personnel moved swiftly, surrounding Go for Wand with calm urgency. They drew up a large screen, shielding her from the spectators and television cameras, a small gesture of mercy, a final attempt to preserve her dignity in the most vulnerable moment of her life. Behind that curtain, hearts were breaking. She stood there, trembling, her right front leg hanging uselessly, but her spirit, so fierce, so relentless, seemed to still burn in her eyes. She had given everything on the track. She had fought with unmatched courage, but this was not a battle she could win. Veterinarians assessed her injury with grave certainty. The compound fracture was catastrophic, the kind that would leave her in unending pain. There was no recovery. There was no saving her. The only gift they could now offer was mercy. With the crowd hushed and her beloved jockey, Randy Romero, devastated but safe, the decision was made to humanely end her suffering. There, on the very stage where she had thrilled the world, she was euthanized on the track. Her pain was gone, but the emotional weight of that moment would linger forever in the hearts of those who witnessed it. Go for Wand's final moments were handled with the utmost care and compassion, but they left a scar on the soul of racing. It was a sobering reminder of the fine line between glory and grief. A moment that racing fans, jockeys, trainers, and the world would never forget. The tragic fall of Go for Wand sent shockwaves through the racing world, a grief so profound it echoed beyond Belmont Park and across the nation. Her catastrophic compound fracture of the right front cannon bone was more than a career-ending injury. It was a life-ending moment that left an indelible scar on the heart of horse racing. When Go for Wand crumpled to the dirt in that final stretch, jockey Randy Romero was thrown violently from the saddle. He suffered a broken pelvis and fractured ribs, but he survived, a cruel irony in a race where his courageous partner did not. He would later recall the anguish of that day, saying he felt helpless as his beloved filly fought to stay standing, unaware that her greatest battle could not be won. The track personnel acted swiftly. A large screen was quickly erected around her, shielding her from the horrified gaze of the crowd and the relentless lens of television cameras. Behind that screen, veterinarians assessed the brutal reality. The compound fracture had torn through flesh and bone, leaving her in unspeakable agony. The only humane choice was clear, though it shattered every heart present. She was euthanized on the track, right there where she had written her story of courage, speed, and glory. The racing community fell into collective mourning. Mrs. Jane DuPont-Lunger, her breeder and owner, was inconsolable. Go for Wand wasn't just a champion, she was family. Trainer Bill Badgett Jr., who had guided her every step, gave a statement laced with disbelief and sorrow, echoing the grief of fans who had adored the filly for her brilliance and heart. Her death drew painful comparisons to the 1975 tragedy of Ruffian, another gifted filly whose career and life ended in almost the same haunting way. During a nationally televised race in front of thousands, in a moment where triumph and devastation collided. Like Ruffian's, Go for Wand's breakdown became one of the most searing memories in horse racing history. But even in death, Go for Wand was given honor. She was buried at Saratoga Race Course in the infield, her grave carefully positioned so her nose would forever point toward the finish line, toward the place she always ran to with such unstoppable will. It was a deeply symbolic gesture, a tribute to the champion who had defined so many thrilling finishes. Her legacy didn't fade. In fact, her tragedy helped spark critical conversations about racehorse welfare and track safety, reigniting debates about the physical demands placed on these magnificent athletes. Her story became a cautionary tale, forcing the industry to confront uncomfortable truths about the risks of the sport. To this day, annual memorial races are held in her honor, a testament to the mark she left on racing's soul. Her courage, her dominance, her brilliance, and even her heartbreaking end continue to inspire and remind us of both the beauty and the brutal cost of horse racing. Go for Wand wasn't just a racehorse. She was a legend, and her spirit still gallops toward the finish line.